Welcome back to Male Choices. In today's video, we're diving into the big changes happening in the dating world, where men are flipping the script and women are feeling the effects. We'll break down how men are reclaiming control, the unexpected reactions from women, and what all of this means for modern relationships. If you're ready for some real talk, make sure you've hit subscribe, and turned on those notifications. Let's jump right in.
Girl, are you telling me that you have a man that is good on paper, that you have chemistry with, and he's boring? That is the trifecta of the perfect husband. Trust me when I tell you, I have seen enough to know for sure that it is the boring ones that make the best husband. Do you know what happens when you marry the exciting, fun, adventurous, enigmatic man? One day, he wakes up and looks at you, and you've had a couple of kids, and he thinks, how did my life become so boring? And think, how did I go from having so much fun to talking about sleep schedules and sugar content and the Steiner method? These are the men who grow to hate and resent their wives and their children, and then they have a midlife crisis and they spend all your money on a fancy car and they run off with a 21-year-old. They go on a boys' trip and then they fall out of a second-story balcony. And then they end up hooked on painkillers. It's so fun and exciting, right? The boring guy, on the other hand, when he says he wants a boring life, he means he wants a quiet, comfortable, happy life with no drama. It means that he enjoys the idea of being with the same person every day, going to sleep with them, waking up next to them, going to work, coming home at the same time, in time for dinner, maybe watching a TV show after dinner together and then cuddling, and then spending the weekends making a meal plan and going to the farmer's market and mowing the lawn. He is the one who subscribes to the idea of happy wife, happy life. He is a yes dear man who wants something. His answer is always yes, dear. As long as you are home when he gets home and you're making him his favorite meal and then giving him a nightcap, he is happy. He is not out there chasing women half his age, okay? He is not the guy who will gamble away your life savings. He's not buying a motorcycle and then trying to ride the motorcycle and then crashing the motorcycle. And here's another little tidbit of information that you need to understand. As a woman, if you have a man in your life, you inevitably will suffer the consequences for every stupid, bad decision this man will make. Were we not paying attention to Orange is the New Black? That was the message. Go back and watch it if you missed it. But almost all of those women were there because they attached themselves to an idiot man who made stupid, bad decisions. But I'm sure that was all so fun and exciting at the beginning. Now again, maybe marriage and settling down and having a nice, quiet, stable life is not for everybody, and that's okay. In that case, my advice is to stay single. But if you want to get married, ladies, if you want to have a happy marriage and a nice, comfortable life, marry the boring guy. You can always be exciting enough.
Some women just don't know how to appreciate a good thing when they've got it. They'll be in a stable relationship with a solid man, someone who's there for them, supportive, loyal, but instead of valuing that, they start to complain. Why? Because they've confused stability and peace with being boring. It's insane how often you hear it. She'll say the relationship is dull, or that he's just not exciting anymore. But let's get real. Some women need to redefine what boring and fun really are. For a lot of them, fun means chaos, drama, and often toxic behavior. They're addicted to the roller coaster ride, thinking that's what keeps life interesting. Meanwhile, the good guy, the one who's reliable, consistent with his life together, gets sidelined because he's not bringing enough adventure. And what happens next? She goes for the fun guy, the one who disrespects her, doesn't show up when it matters, and leaves her hurt and confused. Then the cycle repeats. By the time the chaos has worn her out, she realizes that the stable man, the so-called boring one, was exactly what she needed all along. But by then, he's probably moved on. Men get tired of being undervalued and taken for granted, and once they're done, they're done. They're not sticking around to be someone's backup plan. The truth is, real love and stability aren't boring. They're the foundation of a healthy, fulfilling relationship. But some women get caught up chasing temporary thrills, not realizing that what they truly need is someone who brings peace, not drama. Unfortunately, by the time they learn that lesson, they're often left looking back, regretting how they let a good man slip away. Complaining about a stable relationship is a fast way to lose it. If fun means toxicity, it's time to redefine what happiness really looks like. True joy is found in calm, consistent love, not in chaos.
If she likes you, she's sleeping with you. If she's not sleeping with you, she doesn't like you. 3% of women are waiting till they're married. Men will waste a bunch of time on women that are not actually interested. What they'll do is they will put a woman on a pedestal, say she's different, special, whatever, and they will do all this work, take a woman on dates, get in full-blown relationships where the woman is not giving the man sex. The guy that knows what's going on knows that if she likes you, she's sleeping with you. If she's not sleeping with you, she doesn't like you. The traditional conservatives say go to church and find a good woman. A lot of times there's predatory women in the church because they're going there because they know there's a bunch of naive men that don't know better. And that's why you keep seeing these ex-corn stars where Amber Rose is talking at a conservative convention. Nala is a speaker. Nala, the corn star. That's why we're even getting corn star pastors.
If a woman's genuinely interested in a guy, she should want to lock things down and be exclusive. It's that simple. But what happens far too often? Guys get stuck in the friend zone, putting in time, energy, and emotions, thinking they're building something real. They play the nice guy, waiting patiently, thinking eventually things will turn around. Then suddenly, she's crying on his shoulder about some narcissist she wasted her time on, and the guy's left wondering what he did wrong. Let's be real, this isn't just on men. Women are stringing these guys along, using them as emotional crutches while chasing after the bad boys who only bring them drama. When it all falls apart, they run back to the nice guy in the friend zone, expecting sympathy and support. And she knows exactly what she's doing. She knows he's interested, but instead of being honest, either giving him a chance or setting him free, she keeps him around for validation. It's a power move, plain and simple. Women need to own up to this. You can't expect a guy to invest his time and energy while you chase after toxic men and then come back to him when things go wrong. It's manipulative, selfish, and a major reason why so many men are checking out of modern dating. If women want men to take them seriously, they need to be serious about the men they're with. Stop using guys in the friend zone as emotional safety nets while you pursue others. Be upfront, or don't be surprised when the good guys lose interest and walk away.
If there's one thing that's become painfully obvious as I'm recording this in 2024, it's that the dating scene has changed. The entire dynamic of what used to be is now gone. And if we're being fair, we have to give credit where credit's due and say that it's women who have largely changed the dating scene, who have made it what it is today. The problem, however, is the women who get that credit, and deservedly so, didn't change it in the way they thought they were changing it. To borrow a phrase, what they thought was going to be a blessing is turning out to be a curse. Which is why they're making videos like this one.
A coffee date is low effort.
Ah, yes, the infamous coffee date. The thing men are now offering to women as first dates. The thing that most of today's modern women are absolutely appalled that men have turned to. Because, as she said, they view it as low effort. You see, they're still stuck in the 1950s and 60s. Or perhaps, to put it better, what they thought happened in the 1950s and 60s. When men, at least in their minds, took women out on expensive first dates. Laid it all out there. Did everything they could to impress them. The reality, however, was anything but. Back in my day, when I first started dating, the traditional first date was you would go to the mall, maybe get something at the food court, and then go see a movie. That was pretty much it. And it probably cost him anywhere from $10 to $15. Which I think all of us can agree is a pretty far cry from the hundreds, if not thousands, that today's modern women expect men to spend on them. But see, that doesn't make modern women feel good. And as we all know, it's all about the feels for them. Which is why they then go on to say things like this.
It means that the guy likes you enough to buy you a cup of coffee, but he doesn't like you like that. He doesn't like you enough to plan a proper date.
Oh my. This is just another example of how women try and educate other women on what men think and feel, what men's actual intentions are. And as is the case 999,999 times out of 1 million, she gets it dead wrong. Now, to be fair, she is correct on one point. He does like her enough to buy her a cup of coffee. He does like her enough, and this is the key point, ladies, to do a risk assessment, to see if the risk of pursuing a relationship with her is worth the reward. And the reality is, ladies, and this one's really going to set you off, most of you aren't worth the risk. And that's why men are only offering coffee dates now. Because you see, ladies, while you're all about the feels, men are about the logic. And that first date for them is a risk assessment, not a romance novel. He is interested in trying to find out more about her and see if there's a connection. And a cup of coffee does all of that. In fact, more, because it tells him right off the bat if she's a high maintenance woman or one worth pursuing. Notice I didn't say high value. I said high maintenance, because if she's expecting expensive dates and him to go all out to impress her on the first one, she's making it very clear right up front. It's all about the Benjamins, baby. She couldn't care less about him. It's what she can extract from him, which is further proven by when they say things like this.
To try to impress you, to try to wow you.
Oh, sorry, honey, but there's no need for us to try and impress you, let alone wow you. Because contrary to what you've all convinced each other of, men don't need you. We may want you, but we don't need you. Contrary to what you're all running around trying to convince each other of, because, women know better than men how men think and feel, men can do just fine without women in their lives. In fact, they do, day after day, by the millions. We can feed ourselves, we can do our own laundry, we can earn our own money, we can do all the things that most of you think we are completely and utterly incapable of doing. And not only can we do it, more often than not, we can do it better than you. And men know that, which has created a seismic shift in the dating scene. One that women still aren't ready to accept. And what is that shift? That the shoe is now on the other foot. It's on you to wow us. It's on you to impress us. It's on you to prove yourselves worthy of our interest. Hence, that first coffee date. There's your opportunity to do so. An opportunity most women fail because, well, in their minds, it's not good enough, which is a signal to men that she's not good enough.
So when you go on a coffee date, you need to be aware that the man is not sure about you.
Yep.
He's going to be evaluating to see if you're worth him spending more on you.
You're close, but no cigar. He's not assessing to see if you're worth spending more money on. He's assessing you to see if you're worthy of pursuing a relationship with. Two entirely different things to men. Though, let's be honest, for women, as I said earlier, it's all about the money. It's strictly a business transaction, which is why she's thinking this way. It's why she has the mindset that it's all about how much money he's going to spend on her.
He's not that worried about impressing you either.
Again, you get it completely wrong. You're showing once again you have no idea how men think, because he is worried about impressing you. If, and this is the key thing, if he thinks you're worthy of him putting in the effort to impress you, which again doesn't require a planned out expensive date. A coffee date more than suffices to determine that.
So make your choice. You decide if you want to go there and prove to this guy that you are worthy of a better date, or if you're okay with him buying you a cup of coffee so he can decide how he feels about you.
I actually agree with her. It is on the woman to make that decision, but I'd put it a little differently, because the choice comes down to one of two things. Are you so self-absorbed, so narcissistic, so entitled that you think a man needs to go all out and spend hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on you to woo you on the first date before either one of you is determined if you're compatible, or you can step back, realize that all you need to do is get together for an hour over a cup of coffee to make that same determination. Because that's what it comes down to. Sadly, most of today's modern women are making the former choice, which is why men are walking away and done with them. Why they're not asking you out, and certainly why they're not taking you out on expensive first dates. Because any woman that has that expectation is showing she's high maintenance and low value. She's never going to be in it for anything more than the money. And if men are going to spend that kind of money, trust me, ladies, there's other ways they can spend it that'll make them a lot happier, a lot healthier, and not have to put up with all the drama. That's the reality, ladies, and it's why dating has changed. Which means you can either double down like you all are doing, or go about making some changes, taking some ownership, some accountability, and responsibility, and accepting that men are worthy, that they aren't something for you to pillage for your amusement, that you need to bring something to the table just as much as they do. Because contrary to what you believe, this ain't all that.
For decades now, Western women have been playing the game, turning relationships into financial transactions. The first date? It's not even about getting to know a guy, it's about seeing if they can tolerate him long enough to cash in on whatever he's bringing to the table. The moment a man flips the script and asks, "What do you bring to the table?" chaos erupts. They hate that question because it puts the spotlight on them, and for far too long, they've skated by without having to prove their own worth. Let's talk about the infamous coffee date. It's the perfect setup for men. No fancy dinners or expensive drinks, just a real conversation to see if she's worth your time. But somehow, women take offense to it. Why? Because they're used to men going all out, rolling out the red carpet just for a chance to impress. They see a simple coffee date as a downgrade, not realizing it's actually the best way to connect. Here's the harsh truth. Many women have developed this entitlement mentality. They think they deserve the world without putting in any effort. To them, men are nothing more than ATM machines, good for getting what they want without ever considering what men want in return. They demand the perfect guy but can't even check off the basics themselves. And the advice they're getting? It's a joke. They're listening to other women who are just as lost, trapped in this echo chamber, flexing to each other and competing in a game that no one's winning. They don't want to hear what men really value because it doesn't fit their narrative. But the truth is, the juice isn't worth the squeeze anymore for many men. The risk, the games, the exploitation, it's all too much. Men are tired of being seen as nothing more than providers or stepping stones to some fantasy lifestyle. If women don't start asking what men value, they're going to keep losing. And guess what? We're done playing along.
I just want to know, where are all the nice, normal people who don't lie, don't cheat, whom you can trust? There's so many mean creeps out there.
We've all been there, putting in the time, energy and effort, only to be let down by women who didn't value what we brought to the table. A lot of us have given up, and honestly, we're fine with it. We used to be hopeful, thinking hard work and loyalty would be returned, but reality hit hard. Now we're choosing peace over drama. Being single isn't a curse, it's a relief. No more chasing, no more games, no more unrealistic expectations. We're focused on ourselves, our goals, and our peace. The juice isn't worth the squeeze anymore, and we're better off for it.
Some of y'all might think I'm really petty, that I'm about to end things with a man that I've been dating for 3 months because of what happened the other night. Y'all can come for me, whatever, but I really, really think this is a valid reason to end things with someone. So let me tell y'all what happened, okay? Listen to this. So Thursday night, I was not feeling my best. Actually, I was sick all day. I had a really bad sore throat, and I was just extremely tired. And he was checking in on me. The guy I've been dating for 3 months was checking in on me Thursday. I think it was like 9 o'clock. He was like, "Hey, how are you doing? How are you feeling?" And I told him, like, I'm still really tired. I'm not really feeling my best. And he was like, "Okay, do you need anything?" And I was like, "Well, like, it would be nice. I really didn't eat anything. Maybe like some soup." He was like, "Okay, I'll bring you some soup and maybe some NyQuil to help you go to sleep." And I was like, "Wow, really thoughtful of you. Yeah, you can swing by." So he does that. He comes by and brings me some NyQuil, brings me some soup and some popsicles to soothe my throat. And I was like, "Wow, that's really sweet." But then listen to this. So he decides to stay the night, and we're up till like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, just having pillow talk, chit-chatting. Next thing you know, we hear a beep, like a loud beep downstairs, and a bang. And I'm like, what in the world is that? My ring alarms didn't go off from the front and the backyard. So I'm like, okay, I don't know what could be going on. Sometimes ring misses motion. So I'm like, okay, we don't know what's going on. Y'all want to know what this man said? This man said, "Do you want to go check out the noise downstairs? You want to go see what that noise is?" Me, the woman, me, go downstairs and check what the noise is. I thought you were supposed to protect me. I'm looking for a protector, okay? Not a man that's going to send me downstairs to potentially, I don't know what's happening downstairs. And even if it turned out that it was just my refrigerator that was making the noise, the fact that this man told me to go downstairs and check on the noise gave me the biggest ick I've ever experienced from a man. And I just can no longer get past that, because how you can't protect me, apparently. I gotta protect the home. Abso-fucking-lutely not.
Let's get one thing clear. He's the prize, and it's your job to protect him too. You don't always need a reason to end things, but let's talk about something real. What happens if you're alone, hear a noise, and he's not there? You might check it out or call someone, but what if the noise is another man you're secretly seeing? Now imagine, he's rushing over ready to protect you without knowing he's walking straight into a trap. This happens more often than we like to admit. Men find themselves in dangerous situations because they trust their partner, only to end up hurt. He's thinking he's protecting you, but who's looking out for him? If you're playing games, you're not just putting yourself at risk, you're putting him in danger too. Here's the reality: men have limits. They're not just there to serve and protect while you're off doing whatever you want. If he's good to you, you've got to be good to him. Don't drag him into dangerous situations, whether it's intentional or not. Protect him like he's protecting you. It's that simple.